Hello, I am the H-Town Vet, and I would like to welcome you to our channel, a place where we will discuss the variety of benefits available to veterans and their dependents. Today's topic: what's true and not true about VA reexaminations. One of the biggest problems you run into in trying to find direction when filing a VA claim or protecting your benefits is, who do you listen to? Listening to the wrong person or agency could cause you to have a reduction in your benefits or lose them altogether. The best thing about social media is everybody has a voice. The bad thing about social media, including YouTube, is that everybody has a voice. So how do you know if you're being informed or misled? One of the first signs is consistency. If people are putting out videos with contradictory information, that's a problem. I use several strategies to avoid putting out misleading or inaccurate information. The first thing I do is vet the information that I plan to put out for accuracy and to make sure that it's valid. After I release a video, I look for feedback from fellow veterans in the comments. This could come in the form of questions that I answer or corrections to the information that I'm putting out. This also generates new topic ideas for my next videos. The biggest mistake we make regarding our VA benefits is relying on a third party to tell us what we need to do to get our benefits and to keep them, without properly verifying the information. One of the quickest ways you can verify information that you're given by a service organization or another veteran is through a search engine. Remember, Google is your friend, but you need to be able to back that thing up. Not the song by Juvenile, but by becoming very familiar with these two primary resources: the VA Federal Laws and Rulebook and the VA Benefits Manual, which is used by the VA in their day-to-day activities to approve and deny claims and to schedule reexaminations. But in the last 5 years, the Department of Veteran Affairs must have been reading the manual upside down because of some of the decisions that they have made. According to the Office of Inspector General, who has oversight of the Department of Veteran Affairs, the VA continues to break the rules by requiring veterans to attend unwarranted reexaminations. Not surprisingly, the group that had the most protections got the most reexaminations, those with a permanent rating that was not likely to improve. Now let's quiz your knowledge to see how much you know about VA reexaminations. Many of us were taught that if we got life-changing medical news, that we should seek a second opinion. Well, how can you get a second opinion when you're dealing with the VA? Let's start the quiz and find out. Number 1, true or false? A medical exam from a private doctor cannot be submitted as evidence for your claim. That's false, because every veteran has the right to get a professional medical opinion outside the VA system. You could request an independent medical examination from your primary doctor outside the VA system, or you can get an independent specialist to do an exam on you using the DBQ, or commonly known as the Disability Benefits Questionnaire, which is an important examination tool used by the VA to establish service connection and to measure the severity of a condition. Lately, there's been a lot of chatter from the VA, Congress, and lawyers complaining about veteran-led organizations that purport to help veterans. But if the VA was doing its job, we wouldn't be in this situation. How ironic, the VA is not keeping its word, but is complaining about other people taking advantage of veterans. I will go into more detail about independent medical examinations in another video. If you have a private doctor that you see on a regular basis, you should tell them about the events that happen in the military that you are currently suffering from. Then ask their medical opinion of whether they believe the condition is connected to service and how severe it is. People tend not to like temporary things, whether it's temporary housing, temporary jobs, temporary relationships, and definitely not temporary ratings. Number 2, a temporary rating cannot be reduced or reevaluated after 20 years unless the rating was gained through fraud. Think about it a minute. We're talking about temporary ratings. The statement is true. The 20-year rule does not just apply to 100% permanent total. It doesn't just apply to 100%. Any percentage rating from 0 to 100% can fall under the 20-year rule, regardless of whether it's temporary or permanent in nature. We will discuss the 20-year rule in more detail in a later video. If this video has been informative so far, please like, share, and subscribe. Number 3, true or false. The terms evaluation and examination have the same meaning to the VA. True, at least in the way that they use them interchangeably when they're talking about VA claims. Number 4, true or false. A 100% permanent and total rating can never be reevaluated or reduced. False. The only guaranteed protection falls under the 20-year rule. I was recently asked, was there any protection based on a veteran's age? Let's get into it. Number 5, true or false. The 55-year rule is not a protected rating, but a factor that the VA considers before reevaluating a rating. True, it may surprise some of you, but the 55-year rule is more of a consideration than it is a rule. A side note, what are your views on whether VA exams are mandatory or not? Please respond in the comments. I'll be very interested in your answers. Number 6, true or false. The VA can reduce a veteran's disability rating without a re-examination. True, no reevaluation is required if you are incarcerated or you committed fraud. Number 7, true or false. Some veterans with individual unemployability, to include individual unemployability and TDIU, can work. In other words, can a veteran with individual unemployability work when their rating is based on not being able to work? True, certain individuals with individual unemployability can work, but in my opinion, it's risky. This includes when a veteran is working under the poverty level, or is in a protected or sheltered environment at work, or working for a family member, or in a work environment where the employer makes special modifications to accommodate the veteran's disabilities. I would like to give a special thanks to everybody that stayed to the end of the video.